Hello. So I get a lot of questions about like beating certain teams and certain strategies against different teams, and right one quick hero a lot of people ask about a lot is Dante. He's definitely a hero that gets used quite a bit. A difference though between like Dante teams and like if Dante is a tank in the team or Dante in second place is very different. But I kind of want to do like a video because I've actually had some pretty good fights in Guild Wars against Dante led teams lately. So I kind of want to just do a video about that and kind of show some of these fights, because I think they're kind of interesting and right, a lot of people do have hard time with these lines, so I'm going to kind of show the strategy I use for them. So let's get to it. So the first fight I want to show is what this is from last week. It's against a guy named Damondred. Right, so this is a victory. We'll show you like so what I set up. I actually have so Trinity Twins, but in this fight we actually want Axel on Celeste instead of Lars. And that's because Dante, he hits the first 4 heroes with his ult, but not the very back hero. So as Lars being the very back, he doesn't need Axel, but Celeste does. So you run with these 4. And I use Kayn as a pet instead of Axel, and that's because Axel is honestly too slow because Dante will come out quick with damage. And Kayn has a passive mitigation buff. His invisibility mastery is in effect the whole fight from the very beginning. So this whole team has dodge stat for about 2,900 power, almost 3,000 dodge. And that's enough to give you, like I said, they'll dodge about 1/6 of the time. So that's enough to help you have a bit better chance of survival. So we're going to show you the fight here. Because, like I said, we run Kayn because these fights tend to be very short. It's very important not to overspam with Aurora's ult. She'll get to ult quickly, but you don't want to hit it yet because they have Isaac. Because you do not want to get hit with silence. Because if you get hit with silence, you lose. So you have to make sure Otis Rendy's up before you use Aurora's ults. Or at least close enough. Like I said, you have to, like I said, because you do not want to get tagged with silence. If you get tagged with silence, you lose. Note, we're 145 now. This is when Axel would just barely be using his ult, and we're already comboing off. And this fight, like I said, is Axel would not have been able to save Sebastian because it's too fast. 1 minute, said there was only 19 seconds in that fight. So Axel would not have done anything in that fight because it would have been way too late. And again, this is the numbers. You can see like we pretty much cleaned them up. Twins are really good against this line. Twins are, I think, underrated these days. Like, they're very efficient at DPS. And you can beat Isaac with the Twins if you time your stuff right. Like I said, this was, the key was not to make sure you have Sebastian to protect you from the silence and not to trigger Isaac too soon. But yeah, like I said, Roar took a long time. Sebastian died, but that's fine. He had Ode up, which is all you need. You just need him to live long enough to put up Ode to Serenity. Didn't need a whole lot of healing. But as Sig said, that fight is quick and brutal, which is why we're being Kayn, because if fights are too quick for Axel to do anything meaningful. Alright, so the next fight I want to show you, this is actually from yesterday. This was the most recent war we did. This is against another similar team. This one is using Dorian instead of Martha and Heidi, so that's a bit different. There's no Isaac here. But we will run this one. Like I said, again, pretty similarly. So we're just going to run this. Like I said, I kind of want to just slow this one down because there's actually something I want to show you. So, Dante's going to ult here, but watch. See, Celeste got a dodge there, and that's because of Kayn. Even though Aurora's buff, I haven't used Aurora's ult yet. Celeste was able to score a dodge. Like I said, this is, like I said, Axel would not have done anything in this fight at this point. This is why we bring Kayn, because he offers mitigation at the very start of the fight. And they don't have Isaac, so I probably could have been using Aurora's ult faster, but... like I said, I just very... Like I said, you don't want to over-trigger Dante's ult. Like I said, I probably made a mistake not to use her ult a bit faster, but this ended up being a good example of why we bring Kayn to Dante fights, because of how quick he comes out. Because, like I said, my pet hasn't got his first ult yet. Like I said, and you've seen all these spheres Dante's been throwing. It's like I said, this ends up being, like I said, why the best pet for these kind of fights, because they're just mercifully short. But Dante's comboing off again. Like I said, it's his third ult. At this point, we now have a couple of dodge buffs up, and now Kane's gonna ult, and we're just gonna speed this up now because this fight is about to end. Right, Sarah hasn't even comboed off yet. Like, Aurora's pretty much just killing everything in this fight with her ults. But a minute, like I said, 30 seconds, 7 seconds left. So that's only 23 seconds long. Like I said, I guess is like I said, it ended up being a good example why not to bring, why you want to bring Kayn instead of Axel. But yeah, no. See, Aurora was my top DPS in that fight. And that's just because she got to ult a lot. Like I said, I probably should have ulted a bit quicker on that one, but because there wasn't an Isaac here, but it's kind of be a habit out against the Dante teams, because a lot of times they will have Isaac, so it just kind of, but it ended up being a good way to show you why you bring Kayn, because it allowed Celeste to get that dodge roll to protect her. Like I said, it gives you mitigation for the whole fight. Damage taken. Nobody died this time. Again, Celeste doing some healing. Dorian doing nothing. Heidi had a very tiny bit of healing from Dorian, it looks like, but very quick fight. And the third fight I'm going to show you, this is actually a Damon Dread rematch. This is pretty much the same line you used last week. This is from this week. Except, but the fight went just a bit different. This one going a bit longer. And I want to show you something else that happened in this fight. So we're just going to start this normally. Pretty much same as last time. But like I said, he'll hold Aurora's ults. And I kind of watch, like I said, I actually hit Aurora's ult there. But Sebastian was ready to go with his ult, so I knew we would be fine, even though, like I said, you saw the time, like, Isaac was ulting right when Sebastian went down. Sebastian's Son will come down faster than Isaac's ult. You just have to be very careful of the timing. I felt confident in this fight when I did it. I remember doing this one the other day. I felt confident that I was going to be able to put Disserenity up before Isaac's silence came down, which is why I used Aurora's ult there. Like I said, you have to be, like I said, you know, if you're unsure, it's okay to hold it off for another 2 seconds, but like I said, we gotta go spam combo off. Look at all this spam here. But yeah, another 25-second fight, mercifully short. This is why we bring a Kayn. Because it's just Axel's too slow. Like every other pet is too slow. Kayn's the only pet who does something from the very beginning of the fight. He's the only, like I said, every other pet doesn't do anything for the first 15 seconds. Kayn does something from the very moment the fight starts to the very end of it, no matter what. So that's, like I said, so he's very useful for stuff like this. But Aurora doing damage, plus Krista with her ice shards. Dante, of course, their lead fighter. Martha took a lot of damage because she has that self-healing, and Celeste did the healing. Like I said, they didn't get a chance to heal because these fights are so short. Like, Martha can't get set up and do anything. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys found this video informative. Thank you for watching.